Hey, digital art and design. I'm going to go through a little more detail about your illustration project. So first, a little background about this. So the past, when we've been in class, I've introduced this as a digital painting, and these are 3 student examples. And we've used the drawing tablets and stylus, so it actually seems like you are drawing on paper, but you're drawing on the computer. Okay, so you're using essentially a pen or a pencil that way. And you're able to really get great details and draw accurately when you do that. So you can see all 3 student examples are showing like they're beautiful, like they're amazingly done. And that's because we have that use of the tablet. Okay. Now, with us not having tablets, or most of us not having tablets at home, I can't introduce it that way. And drawing with your mouse pad or your trackpad or a mouse is really challenging. It's just not the same as like holding a pencil and drawing it that way. So we're going to go about this a little bit differently. We'll still get some techniques under our belts and create a digital painting. It'll just look a little bit or quite a bit different actually when we're doing this. So I just want you to know where that history comes from with this. And then our process is going to start out like this. Okay, so you're choosing your photo that you want to be your reference image. I'm really emphasizing that it needs to be a photograph or drawing from real life, an object from real life. Okay, we're not just drawing a vector, so I'm not going to take this and be like, oh, this is really cool. I like that design, even though I don't think you can see it. I'm gonna draw this. No, I actually want you drawing from something. So if I was at home, I would find, a person. I could draw a person. I could draw, that's very hard, by the way. I don't recommend that unless you're like good at drawing people. Or find some kind of object. I could draw this. I don't think it'd be super interesting, but I could. Or a plant could be really cool to draw. Or you can just look at an image. Okay. So once you have that, then we're going to draw the outline of all of the pieces of your reference image. So we're looking at the edges and bringing in details to show characteristics of whatever you're drawing. Okay. Notice that it's just lines. We're not shading. So I'm not adding any coloring or anything like that. We're just drawing outlines essentially. Now, when you're doing this, I will have another demo, another video if you want to watch us on how to draw, but just know that you're going to want really clean lines, because what we're eventually going to do is in Illustrator, we're going to vectorize this. And you can see anywhere when I was drawing this where I had like sketchy lines, so it wasn't just one even line, it's going to show all of those details in my line drawing when I bring it into Illustrator, which will in the end probably show up in my final result. Okay. So even out your lines. So I could fix that by putting another piece of paper on top of this and tracing it to get a little more even lines, coming any erasing or going over and making some thicker lines that way. Okay, but we want line drawings. That's our goal. When you're drawing, I highly recommend that you use just regular white paper, like that copy paper, so printer paper. That's what I did my drawing on. So I just, at this point, got this one into the computer. If you have a sketchbook, go ahead and use that if you'd like to use that. If you only have lined paper, try and look for some plain white paper somewhere. It's just going to be better if you don't have lines in the background, because it's going to be more work for you to have to get those out later. Okay, so just plain white paper when you do this. All right, so you're going to draw. This one is the one that you're seeing on the screen here. I would actually probably hold this up to a window in the daylight and retrace over it and just get some nice even lines so that they're not so sketchy, and it's going to just give a better result in the end. Okay, so your focus of today is making sure you have a good reference photo, and then at least starting your line drawing for it. Okay, so your outline. You'll upload the progress for that later. I'll pull up the weekly calendar so we can see that, but I want you to get at least going on that today. All right, now, so when we look at the calendar, we're going to start our sketch today. We'll continue it tomorrow. I don't have it. I have you doing an upload on Thursday, but I actually want you to do it on Wednesday so I can see your progress. So you'll do that tomorrow. And then art show voting on Thursday. I'll send out more info about that later. But if you're still looking for an image, Under Project 6 Digital Illustration, if you click on that, there's a folder here. And in that folder is going to be optional reference images. When you click on that, that's going to bring you to just a Google Drive folder that I've made of images that I think would work really well for this project. So if you're stuck and you just don't know what to get, you can choose one from here, okay? I have included some man-made things in here, but so something like this. But I think it's, so it'll be a little more challenging, but I think it's got good dimension, color, and details. So that's why I've included a few other things like shoes, old cameras, and I think a cassette here, and a chair. So I thought this was a cool picture. There would be enough like shadowing and whatnot in there that you could draw this chair. Just zoom in and kind of forget about the background at the moment if you do choose this. Okay, so some options here if you're stuck. So if you're still choosing a photo, check these out. If there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, so even this one that I'm opening now, we're going to just kind of ignore the lights and stuff in the background and focus just on drawing that subject matter, and we'll add background information later. All right, so if you want one of these, you'll just make a copy of it and save it for yourself. Then, so choose a photograph. We're not working from vectors. We're not working from what other artists have drawn digitally or drawn in general. I want you to look at a photograph. That's some of the points that you get for this project. Is it's kind of a challenge to do that, and that's part of the challenge, because I'm going to teach you some things for that. Okay, so you cannot use something like this if you want to draw a cactus. You cannot use something like this as your reference image. This is a great end result, but this was made differently. Okay, our process is different. So if you want to draw a cactus for this project, you are going to search cactus. You're going to find an image. If this one's super cool, that close up, you could get that shape in there and lots of good details and shading in there because there's a lot of good lights and darks in there. Okay, so today, you are going to make sure you have a good photograph. You're going to take a plain piece of paper like so, and you are going to start drawing whatever your subject is, okay? To get just an outline with lots of details in it. And think about this as your composition. So you have a regular piece of printer paper, 8.5 by 11. That's actually the size we're going to paint on as well. So you could fill this whole thing and take up that as your composition also. Otherwise, we can vary that later. All right, then take time. We want to get just a nice outline. The goal is that you have that done by tomorrow so that we can get that line art moving on that. All right. If you want some tips on drawing, watch my next video. One last thing, your ABA for today, thank you for watching, is what actor or actress would you want to play you if there was ever a movie made about your life? Okay, so however that makes sense, an actor or actress you like, or you think they look like you, or you think they act like you, tell me what that is. That's your ABA for today, okay? And then remember, you're handing in your progress sketch tomorrow, so I can give you feedback on that. All right, happy drawing.